What is up, LudyBros Army? It's your boy Big Bro Lamar Ludy sitting down for the Sunday showcase between the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. Coming to you guys at the half this time. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks up 62 to 59, so 3-point lead for Milwaukee. As you can see here, they were down after 37 to 28. They were down by about 9 points. The big change that the Nets did with their lineup today was they went ahead, they started off with DeAndre Jordan to take that defensive assignment of going up against Giannis, almost single coverage. And in the first quarter, it was working pretty effectively. Also, DeAndre Jordan was chipping in on the offensive end. He had 8 points here, but 9 rebounds. Kevin Durant leading the way in the first half. He's got 18 points. And then Kyrie Irving's chipping in 10. We're seeing the Nets getting a little contribution from Blake Griffin off the bench. He's got 6 points and 2 rebounds. For the Bucks, they were down. 9 points can potentially be big for the Brooklyn Nets when you're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. But in that second half, they went on a nice run and they got after it on the defensive end, and that was the big difference. And that's going to be my question. This game definitely has the feel of the Eastern Conference Finals. Are the Nets going to be able to, is their offense going to be able to hold up when another team clamps down defensively to try and, put a stop to the big three and what they're trying to do? Giannis has 20 points. Now, DeAndre Jordan did make it difficult for him in the first quarter. Giannis made the adjustments. He started getting in a little closer with his back to the basket. He got himself in a rhythm, and he started to see some of those mid-range shots fall. Chris Middleton's chipping in 16 points with Drew Holiday, the big addition for the Bucks. He's got 13. And he's been playing great defense on Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving with that 10 points. If Drew Holiday is able to match him, the way that he's doing right now, that's going to make for a very interesting series. Now, the huge elephant in the room that we cannot forget, this guy right here, James Harden, he's not playing today. So that big three for the Nets, they're not on the floor. The question is going to be then, are the Nets going to have the chemistry? Are they going to be able to play together? Is their offensive talent going to be more than enough to get them out of the Eastern Conference? In a 7-game series with a team that hasn't been very healthy all season long, it's going to be hard to bet against the Nets because of their talent, but it's also a little bit hard to bet for them in a 7-game series because of that fact. You usually don't just roll the ball out there to your guys and say, okay, go get us a championship, and then it happens. So that's going to be the big question is their offensive talent going to be enough to do just that? We have the Milwaukee Bucks here facing up with them, and in a 7-game series, that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. So let's go ahead and look at this overall box score. The Nets winning the rebounding battle 28 to 20. That's a nice, interesting takeaway with 9 of those on the offensive end. DeAndre Jordan, like I said, he's been working on the inside, and he's made his force known in today's game. Ball moving very well for both teams, 9 assists to 8. The Bucks coming with 4 blocks. Giannis had a monster block on DeAndre Jordan. That was nice. The steals, like I said, the Bucks ratcheted up their defense. They've got 6 steals to 3 for the Nets, and they were able to cause 11 turnovers, which is a little uncharacteristic for this Nets team to have so many turnovers in that first half. Points in the paint favoring the Bucks. They're up 24 to 16 there. So that's also going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and get ready for the second half of action. I'll come back to you guys at the end of regulation. What an awesome game. What a great way to finish it up. That was just an exciting matchup between these two teams who definitely have a chance to be the Eastern Conference finalists. Came down to Milwaukee Bucks winning by 3, 117 to 114. Kevin Durant got a great look at a last-second chance to try and send this thing to overtime, which I wish he would have made it. I could have got done with another 5 more minutes of these two teams matching up. But let's go ahead and take a look at the box scores before we get into the analysis. Kevin Durant dropped 42 points with 9 rebounds. Kyrie Irving backed him up with 20 points. He kind of had a rough night. Or a rough afternoon. Kyrie definitely had a rough afternoon, actually, because of the defensive pressure that was applied to him early on with Drew Holiday, but he still chipped in 27 and 6. DeAndre Jordan, he fought for as long as he could with 10 points and 11 rebounds. Landry Shamet got 17 points off the bench, and I think that he's a very underrated player for the Nets. He's finally coming into his own. He had a very good game today, and then Blake Griffin chipped in 11 and 8. He also had a monster putback left-handed jam. So I did say in a previous video that when they picked up Blake Griffin that he was going to be a big addition to this team. Today he showed out as a veteran coming off the bench, accepting his role. The Bucks, they got monster performances out of Giannis and Chris Middleton. Giannis dropping 49, 9, and 4, MVP type numbers from him. Chris Middleton backed him up with 26 points and 11 rebounds. And then here's Drew Holiday getting 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, but really coming through on the defensive end. When we check out the stats for the team, look at this: 9 steals, 11 blocks. Brook Lopez, he had a bunch of blocks today. I think he finished with 5 blocks. It's not showing here on this particular box score, but he had 4 points and 6 rebounds with about 5 blocks, so he was able to put an impact on the game. Coming off of the bench, PJ Tucker tried to make things difficult for Kevin Durant. Bryn Forbes hit some threes today, stepping up pretty big. But the big story here, it was 2 monsters going at it, Giannis and Kevin Durant. They both went at each other. There was a particular play in the game with about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter where Giannis blocked Kevin Durant, rejected Kevin Durant, and the ball went to none other than Kyrie Irving, who stepped up and hit a big 3. And I think that's something, a microcosm of how things are going to potentially play out. You can lock in defensively on the Nets, but is it going to be enough because of the offensive firepower that team has? Now, let's remember, with all this being said and with the excitement of this game, I hate to point this out, but it's true. You have to. The fact is, James Harden didn't play. This game was so close and came down to the wire. It came down to 1 3-pointer that was missed by Kevin Durant, and there's no James Harden. If James Harden is there, is the game still going to be close? If James Harden is there, will the Bucks stand a chance? Will anybody in the Eastern Conference stand a chance? Will anybody in the NBA stand a chance? That's going to be the question that we're going to be looking to have answered here in a couple of weeks. But this was a great game. It was perfect for the Sunday showcase. Let's check out the overall box scores. 54 rebounds for the Nets. That was huge. That's always been a question for me, how they're going to be on the boards. Also, when you look at this offensive rebounds, they got 14 of those. So 14 offensive rebounds coming from the 2 former Clippers, DeAndre Jordan getting 11 and Blake Griffin chipping in 8. So that's 19 combined rebounds for those 2 guys. So that's really good to see for the Nets. 46 boards overall for the Bucks. Both teams moving the ball. 19 assists for the Bucks, 18 assists for the Nets. There was a lot of one-on-one ball being played today. Giannis was getting the ball and getting his spots, and then Kevin Durant was getting the ball and getting his spots. Same thing can be said for Kyrie. 11-1 though, the blocks. 11-1 in favor of the Bucks. That's what I'm talking about. When a team clamps in defensively, how are things going to work out for the Nets in a 7-game series? It's not just a one and done and we're moving on to the next. No, it's a 7-game series where you get to wear down an opponent. The Bucks, when they focused in defensively, they put so much pressure onto the Brooklyn Nets that over the course of those games, can they wear them down? That's going to be the big question. 9 steals to 5 in favor of the Bucks, causing all those turnovers. That's 16 turnovers, and then the Bucks were able to capitalize with 46 points in the paint, being more physical on the inside. But when you can shoot the 3, let's check out the three-pointers and the percentage for the Nets. They shot 40% from 3, with the Bucks matching them at 40%. Overall, though, the field goal percentage for the Bucks was almost 50%. That's great to shoot that from the field because you're not facing as much defensive intensity when you're playing against the Brooklyn Nets. So this was just a great game, and the best thing about it is we're going to see these 2 teams again facing off on Tuesday night. They're going to get right back at it, so they'll have a day off to kind of make some adjustments, and then they're going to get right back at it, almost giving a simulation of what could happen in a potential playoff series. But what were your thoughts on this Sunday showcase? Did your team win out? Are you a Nets fan? Are you a Bucks fan? Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, how this game went, how your favorite players and favorite teams are doing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.